Recently, I've had messages from people who've had multiple operations or multiple injuries, what doctors call multiple trauma, asking if they could be approved for disability. So I thought I'd make a video on the topic of operations and injuries and disability. Hello, I'm John Foster. I'm a medical doctor who does Social Security disability exams, and as usual, everything I say reflects my own opinions based on my own experience and study, and not the opinion of the Social Security Administration or any other medical body. Now, before I get started, I want to address one recent question that I think is very important for people to know about. A person commented that they were in the process of applying for disability, had sent in their application, and then recently had had another pertinent test and wanted to know if they should send that test result into Social Security. And the answer is absolutely yes. If you have any important, pertinent new medical information while undergoing the disability process, you absolutely should send that in to Social Security. That could be a new test, a new visit with your doctor, a new medication prescription, or a new visit with a specialist or new operation. You can continue to send in new medical records up till the point that a final determination on your disability application has been made. And if your initial application is denied and you appeal, you can continue to send new information until all your appeals have been exhausted. So absolutely send in any new medical records that will support your disability application. Now, when it comes to surgeries or operations, a common question is, I've had 3 or 4 operations for my problem X. Will that qualify me for disability? And the answer is, that's the wrong question. Social Security decides if a person is disabled or abled based on their work-related abilities and their work-related limitations now, today, not based on what happened to them in the past. Some people have no operations and are disabled. Some people have one operation and get better. Others have one operation and are disabled. Some people even have a routine operation and die. It happened to a friend of mine in his 30s, had a routine low-risk operation and died in the recovery room. You aren't awarded or denied disability based on the number of operations that you have had. The only operations by themselves that will qualify you for disability are some organ transplantations. For example, having a kidney transplant will automatically get you 1 year of disability, but having a cornea transplant, an eye transplant, will not. Or having 2 limbs amputated. That's 2 arms, 2 legs, or 1 arm and 1 leg. Those are the only operations that qualify you for disability. If you've had 1 operation or if you've had 6 operations, what is important is how is your condition now after those operations? What work-related abilities do you have, and what work-related limitations do you have? Also, frequently I get patients who tell me, I'm going to have another operation in X many months from now. Well, that's interesting, but that's not pertinent to your disability application now. Doctors are very bad at predicting the future. Your future operation may make you much better, it may leave you the same, or it may make you worse. No one knows. What counts is how you are now. In a similar vein, people will say something like, I had a bad auto accident a year and a half ago. I broke 4 ribs, my left wrist, I had a torn liver, I broke my left thigh bone, and my right lower leg. Can I get approved for disability? Again, the answer is, I don't know. It's the wrong question. The correct question is, right now, I have these current work-related limitations as a result of the auto accident I had a year and a half ago. Can I get approved for disability? Some people have multiple severe injuries and make a remarkably good recovery. The worst injury I ever treated in my career was a young woman who had a house fall out of the sky and land on her leg. And no, I'm not making that up or joking. It was in the Woodstock, Ontario tornado of 1979. I'll leave a link to the Wikipedia article in the description to this video below. And a tornado picked up a house and dropped it on her leg. When the tornado was gone, the local townspeople put her on the front door of the house for a stretcher and drove her to the hospital, where I was the initial physician who treated her. She wound up in the intensive care unit for months with sepsis and adult respiratory distress syndrome. And if any medical people are watching this video, they'll know that most people with those problems die. Amazingly enough, she pulled through, and there was an article on her in the paper a year later, and she was attending university and would not have met Social Security's criteria for disability. So, what sort of injuries you had when you suffered trauma, like an auto accident, or a fall, or a gunshot wound, or an assault, or a stabbing, are interesting, but what is pertinent towards your disability application is, how are you doing now? What problems do you have as a result of those injuries that affect your ability to work? And if you're finding this video helpful, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I generally put out 1 disability-related video a week. Now, another trauma-related circumstance that I come into regularly is someone who's had a major accident and it's less than 1 year ago. As you know, to qualify for Social Security disability, your work-related problems have to have been present for at least 12 months or be expected to be present for at least 12 months. Often these people have major injuries and major limitations, but it's less than 12 months. And as I always say, doctors are terrible at predicting the future. All doctors have had at least 1 patient they thought would make a complete recovery and do great and didn't, and another patient they thought would never get better and did. A classic example is the woman who's infertile, who cannot get pregnant. I've always said the best treatment for infertility is to tell a woman it's impossible for her to get pregnant, because guaranteed she'll show up pregnant within the next 6 months. Doctors cannot predict the future. However, if you've had severe injuries and it looks like there's a good chance you'll be permanently disabled, I would suggest that you apply for disability as soon as possible. You don't have to wait 12 months. Now, if you're lucky and you do make a recovery and are able to return to work in less than 12 months, you're obligated to notify Social Security that you've improved, and you can withdraw your disability application. Let's say it takes you 18 months to get back to reasonable shape and return to work. Then you can receive disability benefits for the months you were disabled, and they will end when you return to work. And if you're permanently disabled, then applying early will help you to get your benefits started early. So you don't need to wait until 12 months are over. And that doesn't just apply to injuries. It can apply to any severe disabling condition, such as a stroke. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and as always, remember, if it happens, it's possible.